Have you ever wondered what happens to spaceships that disappear into the void? The Galactic Voyager was one such ship, an enormous vessel designed to transport colonists to a distant exoplanet. Its disappearance was a mystery, a tale whispered among spacefarers. When the distress signal was picked up years later, drifting in uncharted space, a salvage crew was dispatched to investigate. The crew consisted of 5 members: Captain Harris, the seasoned leader; Dr. Morgan, the ship's medical officer; engineers O'Neill and Riley; and the youngest, Davis, an eager but inexperienced technician. As their small shuttle approached the derelict craft, they marveled at the eerie silence that greeted them. The Galactic Voyager was a silent giant, its once bright lights extinguished, its halls swallowed by darkness. Boarding the ship was uneventful, but the air was thick with an unspoken dread. The interior was an unsettling blend of familiar and foreign. The corridors were cluttered with abandoned personal items, and the walls were adorned with flickering, dying screens. The occasional child's toy or family photo hinted at the human lives that had once thrived here. Their first objective was the control room. As they meandered through the ship, they stumbled upon an unexpected sight: a small artificial park. It was an oasis of green amidst the cold, metallic surroundings, a place designed for relaxation and mental well-being. But now, it was overgrown and untamed, the plants having taken on a life of their own in the absence of human care. The swing set creaked eerily, moved by a non-existent breeze. "Strange," whispered Davis, his voice barely audible over the hum of the ship's failing systems. "Focus," Captain Harris commanded. "We need to find out what happened here." In the control room, they found the ship's logs. The last entry was from a month after the ship's departure. It described strange occurrences: shadows moving in the periphery, whispers in the dark, and a growing sense of paranoia among the crew. Dr. Morgan's medical expertise revealed a chilling detail. The ship's crew had been experiencing vivid hallucinations, driving them to madness. A sudden noise echoed through the corridor, a metallic clang like something heavy being dropped. The crew exchanged uneasy glances before Harris gestured for them to follow. They moved cautiously, their flashlights cutting through the oppressive darkness. They reached the cargo bay, where the noise had originated. The air was colder here, and an acrid smell permeated the space. Riley's flashlight beam settled on something that made her gasp: a twisted, grotesque mass of bodies, fused together in a horrifying amalgamation. The faces were frozen in expressions of terror, their mouths agape in silent screams. "What the hell happened here?" O'Neill's voice quivered as he took a step back. "Biomatter fusion," Dr. Morgan muttered, horrified. "But that's impossible without—" A low, guttural growl interrupted her. The crew turned as one, their flashlights converging on a shadowy figure at the far end of the bay. It was humanoid but distorted, its limbs elongated and its eyes glowing with a malevolent light. It moved with an unnatural, jerky motion, advancing towards them. "Run!" Harris shouted, firing his weapon at the creature. The bullets seemed to slow it down, but it was relentless. They sprinted through the ship, the creature's growls growing louder with each passing second. They reached the park, its greenery now a twisted labyrinth. The swings moved violently, as if propelled by an unseen force. The creature was gaining on them, its breath hot on their necks. In a desperate bid for survival, Davis broke away from the group, heading towards a maintenance hatch. He scrambled inside, sealing it shut behind him. The sounds of his crewmates' screams echoed through the walls, then silence. He was alone. Panting, Davis activated his communicator. "This is Davis. The crew they're gone. There's something on this ship. I need extraction, now." Static crackled in response, followed by a voice distorted and barely recognizable. "Davis, it's too late. The ship, it's a trap. We're all—" The signal cut out, leaving Davis in suffocating silence. He sat in the darkness, heart pounding, as the realization dawned on him. The ship was not abandoned. It was alive, feeding on the fear and despair of those who boarded it. The park, the grotesque mass of bodies, the creature, they were all part of its twisted, living nightmare. As he sat there, trapped and alone, a chilling thought crossed his mind. The Galactic Voyager was not drifting aimlessly. It had a purpose, a destination, a new crew to welcome into its eternal horror, and he was already part of its collection.